Minister John Banks.
Mr Speaker, I rise on behalf of the ACT Party to support the Social Security Amendment Bill. I start by congratulating the Minister of Social Development, Paula Bennett, not just on this bill, but on her courage, empathy and diligence with this rather complex portfolio that she manages on a day-by-day basis. Her success and her progress is something that gladdens me. I also give credit to the Chairman of the Select Committee and the Select Committee, but particularly to the leadership of the Select Committee under the member Sam Loto'oinga, a first-class member of Parliament doing a great job on that Select Committee. Welfare reform is something that the ACT Party has long championed. ACT MPs and supporters have worked hard in the wilderness to bring about welfare reform. This reform is long overdue. We have made the case that our system no longer works, that too many New Zealanders are left out of work, out of hope and out of dignity by a system forced upon them. The system can give somebody else's cold hard cash but nothing more. And that's the problem with socialism. You run out of other people's money very quickly. Mr Speaker, ACT explained that children and young mothers need love and community that a bank transfer at midnight cannot give. The ACT Party is glad to see mutual obligation become what everyone in this House deep in their soul knows is right: mutual obligation. One hopes that one day, reforming the RMA, the government spending limits become that what everybody knows is right. For now, we are pleased with welfare reform, and welfare reform is the incremental step to progress for our country. Taking people without hope, taking people without a job, removing the welfare check and giving them the dignity and opportunity to provide for themselves through work. Along the way, this bill has been championed by the ACT Party, supported by the Welfare Working Group, and I want to thank the Welfare Working Group for the hard work that they have done to contribute to this. The group found 1 in 8 working-age New Zealanders is on some form of handout, borrowed every week from the savings of the Swiss, the Germans and the Chinese. We cannot continue to borrow on the backs of our great-grandchildren yet born for a welfare system that fails our youth today, fails dignity and fails opportunity, fails hope and fails self-reliance, and fails self-esteem. So this parliamentary term, welfare reform, is not only supported by ACT, but the recommendations from the working group and part of our confidence and supply agreement. And this minister, this young minister who knows about these matters, these complex matters, has helped it by running it hard. It is ACT's vote that makes the reforms possible. It is not the votes of the people opposite that will take from the Chinese, the Swiss and the French and spend their money by borrowing it from them on a welfare system that fails us. It is the ACT's confidence and supply agreement that stipulates the obligations of parents as per the Welfare Working Group. The obligations of being a responsible parent. Having children is a God-given right, but an awesome responsibility, and it needs to be sheeted home. ACT's confidence and supply agreement also includes initiatives for better support to at-risk families. And it's the at-risk families that we need to target. Income management, contestable provision of social services. The contestable delivery of social services is critical to the partnership between the state that gives the hand up and the recipient that takes the hand out. When I was first elected to Parliament 4 decades ago in the electorate of Whangarei, the local police, the local social workers and local employers, they knew everyone in the city. Welfare then could work because in Whangarei all those years ago, we were in it together. And now the state has alienated people from the social welfare system. And so this bill represents a small step towards that kind of mutual connectivity and responsibility. The community used to say to people on welfare, "We will help you, but you have a few things to do for yourself." We don't hear that any longer. Self-obligation brings self-respect. Self-respect brings self-esteem. And self-esteem brings dignity. That's what this bill seeks to achieve. The current welfare reforms do not propose or stick with no carrot, because you won't have reform with just stick and no carrot, but true mutual obligations. And that's what welfare is about. If we're going to borrow from the savings of others, we have to have a true mutual obligation that we're going to help ourselves to help those who are helping us help ourselves. They do not merely take away benefits for non-compliance, but will pay extra for recipients who do comply with new obligations. An incentive for new obligations, because handouts always require. If you believe in true socialism of taking from people that work hard to give to people that don't work hard, then there must be some social obligation, and that obligation is two ways. This sense of give and take is closer to the kind of human relationship of which mechanistic welfare has robbed us. Mechanistic welfare has robbed this country. But the ultimate dignity that a person can have is the dignity of work. Work builds self-belief. Work builds self-esteem. Think about that term, self-esteem. It's not other people's opinion of you, but your opinion of yourself that builds self-esteem. And so this bill re-emphasises the importance of work. It re-emphasises the importance of work for adults and the importance of working role models for young children, working role models in the community. It acknowledges that many families with small children, both parents work at least part-time, and I salute those hard-working families. We put hard-working families on a pedestal. We know it is difficult to raise kids and work around the clock with two-parent families struggling to make ends meet. And we say those people as good people. And if we're going to transfer at midnight their hard-earned taxes by way of a bank transfer to people that are seeking from the government support at the time of need, then there needs to be some obligation to the hard-working people that are providing the money. Otherwise it's called blatant socialism. Minister Bennett and our coalition partners are investing in social capital of this country by realigning welfare with the notion of mutual obligation and work. That's what this bill should have been called. The mutual obligation of self-respect and self-reliance and giving back something to the community that is funding the welfare amendment bill. The next one we can call that. We look forward to seeing further bills enacting further elements of the agreement, our supply agreement, in this coming months. We're turning the corner in New Zealand. The ACT Party has played a long role in all of this. We have long argued that this 40-year experiment in open-ended welfare has not worked because it's based on wrong values. We've argued that a culture of mutual obligation must replace a culture of entitlement. And this bill is the arrival of that long march. And I'm glad to be supporting it as the leader of the ACT Party.
I call the honourable member Sue